Another advantage of tight play, which I talk about quite a bit in my book, is that you're actually able to play more tables. So loose play needs to be significantly better than tight play if loose play causes you to play half as many tables because you're in so many wild spots. So unless you determine that you can win at a significantly higher rate playing loose, you're better off just playing tight, because then you could play more tables. And if you're going to make it as a poker player, you're going to have to be able to play a lot of tables, because otherwise, if you're just playing one or two tables, it's going to be just like playing live, and the hands are going to come in really slowly. Variance is going to last a long time. There's just not much money in it. The money's in multi-tabling online. Of course, you have your few Durs and Phil Ivies and stuff that can just play nosebleeds and pick off a bunch of people taking shots at them. One or two tabling, but obviously none of us here are Phil Ivey, so it's best to pick a tight style and try and replicate it over many tables. That's pretty much the formula for big dollars in online poker. So on table one there at the King Jack, I did contemplate squeezing, but decided not to. I don't always squeeze, even with that Ace Jack hand. Sometimes I will just fold. I don't like calling. I think calling's the worst option. I'd rather squeeze it or fold it. And Ace 4, you think it's heads up. You have an ace, that's great. You're ahead of his range, no doubt. But the hand is just so difficult to play out of position that I think you can actually just open muck these hands. When you do get called, guys, if an ace flops, you tend to be in a reverse implied odds situation where you're only getting action in situations where you don't want it. And so there's just a lot of messy situations you can find yourself in, and so I don't mind just open folding. Now Ace 9's a little different here. It can, the kicker can play and be in okay shape. The hand's much stronger, so I don't mind opening it up. And the sixes here, go ahead and open them up five-handed. Could consider open folding six-handed, but five-handed I think it's pretty playable. And there on table one, it's definitely playable when you flop the virtual nuts. So we'll start off by betting there, obviously, and then with the sixes here on this type board, I think we can just go ahead and actually give it up here. Firing into two people out of position with kind of a weak hand that doesn't have a whole lot of fun cards that it likes on the turn. I think you can just go ahead and give it up. So here at the sixes, we'll see what develops. We make a flush now. And so we'll probably just check it down and maybe try and induce a bluff or something. We probably have the best hand a decent amount of time here. So I'm not going to fold now at this point. So this could be some thin value with like the 9 of clubs, but we have to pay it off getting that kind of price. So there we flopped a flush. I don't recommend playing it that way. Now with the sixes, we have a pretty nasty problem because you'd think he called the flop and turn with something. And I doubt he would turn a pair into a bluff, so I think we're beat here and we can just fold. So kind of an unfortunate turn and river there, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I mean, presumably he's not just calling the flop with overcards and then just deciding to bluff when the board gets ugly. I really highly doubt that was the case. So he probably did us a favor by overbetting there, because if he had bet a standard amount, I probably wouldn't have been able to get away from it, thinking he might be value betting like two pair type of hands occasionally, and I would be getting the right price to call with my set. So King 10 suited in the cutoff, or excuse me, the hijack, will go ahead and open on table 4. Recommend definitely getting in there whenever you have two cards 10 or higher that are suited. They make powerful Broadway straights and flushes that do not get flush over flushed. very often. They will flush over flush hands like 6-7 of spades, so definitely worthwhile to get into those pots. And with the queen jack suited here, same thing applies. We got position, we have the type of hand that can make a really strong hand. And when these types of hands make strong hands, they oftentimes, like when they make a straight, oftentimes you'll get it in against a set, and you'll get it in against top 2 pair on an ace king 10 flop, stuff like that. So you can get into some really great situations. Here with the queen jack suited, we can do a number of things here. We can raise and just get all the money in, which is fine. But I don't mind just flatting and maybe, bluffing some types of turn cards, or, you don't have to play these hands fast. You can wait to make your hand and use the power position on later streets to maybe move him off something when the board gets ugly. So you don't always have to just go straight into like just shoving and risking all of your chips. So I'll start by value betting here. And hopefully he has a hand like a ace king with the ace of hearts and stuff like that and keeps drawing. So here's a tricky spot. We could go for a little bit of value, or we could go for the full shove and look like we missed like some type of draw and maybe try and get paid that way. I don't mind actually just going for a little bit of value and kind of hoping to ensure we get paid off. So I'm just going to bet half pot. I think at this point he has kind of a weakish, pocket tens type of hand, something like that. That's, hopefully will make a crying call in the river. I don't think he has a hand that's going to call shove too often. So clearly he wasn't going to call the shove. He didn't even call the half pot bet. So I think we made the right read there on his hand. A lot of people's instinct is just to go for the jugular and go all in, but you got to think about his range. And his range clearly looks like a ace king with the ace of hearts, or it looks like a pocket tens with a 10 of hearts, that type of hand.